Namaste, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. On behalf of SagePresage Consulting, I welcome you all to our webinar, An Emerging Era of Power Women 2, Techade and Women Empowerment. My name is Ila Longani and I'm the founder and CEO for SagePresage Consulting. Today's webinar will have three segments. After the initial brief and updates on the event, we will move on to segment one, which is the roundtable discussion, wherein we are joined in by some of the very eminent speakers and leaders from across geographies. After that, we'll be moving on to much awaited fireside chat with our guest of honor, Professor Triveni Singh, followed by a dialogue with special guest from MSME Business Forum, Ms. Kanchana Arun. So, really looking forward to a powerful and impactful exchange of views today. As we know that this decade belongs to rapidly progressing transformational technology like generative AI, deep learning, blockchain, IoT, it's about time to deliberate on how we can effectively harness it for women empowerment and to create equitable digital future. Mani, can we have the presentation on, please? Great, thank you. So going by some of the recent statistics, if we can move on to the statistics slide. Going by some of the recent statistics, we notice slight progression on gender equity gap. However, women are still hugely underrepresented at the workplaces across sectors except for a few. As we move up the ladder from entry level to leadership, we understand that the gap only increases. More so for the women in color with very low representation. We are far from diversity and inclusion in true sense. Going by the current pace, we are nowhere close to achieving gender parity anytime soon. There is a holistic approach and effort required for creating transformation. Skills need to reach girls and women in very remote areas. Schools and universities need to be involved to give right training and direction and to address skill gaps. Workplaces need to have a change in culture and thought process, and special initiatives are required at the organizational levels. Industries can support by creating role models and mentors to provide equitable atmosphere. Government bodies and industry associations need to create opportunities and success stories to follow. Law enforcement and businesses need to work together on a public-private partnership to ensure safer environment for women. Policymakers need to be more sensitive to real challenges and must iron out any roadblocks. All this will pave way for enablement and empowerment. UN Women Forum has reiterated the fact that gender equity progression is way below technological progression, and that's the glitch in the system. Therefore, we all need to work towards fixing the glitch. In order to create equitable digital future, UN Women Forum has identified four key areas of focus. Today, we will explore these four areas and beyond. What are the things that we are doing right? Which gaps need to be plugged? How can businesses step forward and work towards attaining this agenda together? We at Sage Presage are committed towards gender equity and equal opportunity. We keep an eye on not just the local but such global guidelines like that of UN Women Forum. So let's look at some of the initiatives that we have done in the past year at our own small level. It would be only relevant to talk a bit about Sage Presage Consulting to understand our vision, approach, and commitment. We are a holistic risk management organization. We bridge the gap between potential risks and sound decision. We work in the multiple areas of risk like safety and security, integrity risk, cyber and IT risk services, operational risk management, compliance, as well as reputational risks. Our endeavor is to create safe, secure, resilient, and compliant workplaces, making a positive impact. With our understanding of risk management and security and cybersecurity, we are trying to enhance skills and create opportunities for women in this domain, as well as create a safe environment. Sage Presage is training women in personal safety as well as cybersecurity and awareness. Last year, during the same webinar, we had launched cybersecurity and awareness training for women specifically. We've been successfully running these trainings across India, and we've empowered people in safety and self defense skills, cyber hygiene, and creating safe cyber culture. Workplace harassment is a major barrier in progression, especially for women. As a step in this direction, we've been training workforces on awareness about harassment and promoting safe environment, empowering women with awareness about their rights, as well as making them vigilant, especially towards risks and challenges, including ones coming with remote working. We've also been enabling people and companies in the area of emergency response, crisis management, and many other life skills which benefit them within and beyond work. We've been making a difference across sectors because these skills are relevant for each and every person and organization. And as you can see, we've been able we've been also receiving appreciation from both people and organizations for the difference we've been able to create for the companies and their employees. We are now planning to take this initiative ahead and work with organizations closely to take the skills down to ground level so that even girls and women in remote areas and rural areas can be given access to such skills and they can feel secure and independent. Creating equal opportunity is important for us. We had 17 interns working with us last year in India and Canada, out of which 11 have been females. We are proud to share that two of our interns have successfully created career in cybersecurity and consulting domain. Another end where we have been very particular about ensuring equal opportunity has been in the area of vendor selection. We are glad to share that 8 out of these associates are female or female led, coming with multiple skill set. Essentially, if we may put it like that, we've been trying to create an ecosystem empowering women across our associations in many different ways. So, number one, empowering them with relevant skill sets in the area of security, safety, and cybersecurity. And number two, giving them opportunity as interns as well as bringing forth resources by giving access to new technology. And number three, giving opportunities to female vendors. As an organization, we are making an endeavor to do our bit towards sustainability and green environment, and therefore we will be focusing on ESG, sustainability, and carbon neutrality associated solutions in the times to come. Following guidelines on India's sustainable development goals by 2030 and the path shown by Prime Minister Narendra Modi with a commitment to make India net zero by 2070. So that's about some of the initiatives, and we are sincerely, committed to make a safe and healthy environment for all. With that, let's move on to the roundtable discussion. Today, of course, we are joined in by some of the very distinguished thought leaders, speakers, and professionals from across the world to share their experiences and also deliberate on changing technology landscape and requirements in terms of skilled manpower, data privacy, regulations, and whatnot. So moving on to roundtable, I invite Mehnaz, who is also a good friend. Mehnaz, she is a trust and safety security professional with over 11 years of diversified work experience. Under the trust and safety domain, she successfully handled a wide range of functions using a combination of fraud prevention, risk mitigation, service provider background verification checks, data analytics led fraud investigations, financial fraud, compliance led responsibilities, formulated and attended cybercrime seminar events for law enforcement authorities on policies protecting user data privacy and responding to legal data disclosure requests across India and South Asia region. A certified Mark Dakshak from Cyberabad Police handling women empowerment and women safety in sexual and domestic violence distressed victims, recognized and received top Indian Women Influencer Recognition and Security 2022. Welcome, Mehnaz.
Thank you so much, Ila. That was a wonderful introduction. And sometimes I feel that the journey has been such a wonderful learning experience with all ups and downs and challenges. So thank you, Ila, for giving this wonderful opportunity to host this event. I'm truly honored. So, ladies and gentlemen, very good and warm morning to everyone, and in evening also to few of our esteemed panelists. We will be celebrating and admiring the achievement of our esteemed panelists, and we are all excited and thrilled to hear some amazing experience of your life. I'm sure that after we have heard these amazing people and listened to their inspiring experiences, we all will be willing and ready to make a change that will impact life for the better. As Ila has already mentioned that Erin, she is feeling under the weather with sore throat. So wish her a safe and speedy recovery. She won't be able to join our program today. So please join to welcome our wonderful speakers today. We will be having the introduction and QA with our speakers, and then we'll open the forum for our audience for question and answer session. So I have the honor to introduce our first esteemed panelist, Ms. Deepika Chaudhary. She's a Xerox General Counsel, APAC, part of India and EMEA. She has been managing APAC and global roles across diverse industries, supporting legal compliance and government affairs, functions of multinational companies like Xerox, Microsoft, Alcatel, and BOC. She has previously worked as Director of Licensing and Commercials at Microsoft Corporation India Private Limited. She led a 5 attorney team and managed all aspects of the legal and compliance function for all four legal entities of Microsoft in India, with a special focus on legal and regulatory support to online service, including cloud offerings and e-commerce initiative. She has also worked with IMIL, Max New York Live, and British Oxygen Limited. She is a thought leader and a regular speaker at legal and business conferences and has many awards to her credit for her contribution. Thank you so much, Deepika, for joining us today. We warmly welcome you.
Thank you.
Moving on to our next panelist, it's my great pleasure to introduce her. We all welcome you, Vaidehi. She's a founder and the president, Shipping Corporation Canada. Vaidehi is a hospitality veteran who has worked with leading and flagship hotels in India, Hong Kong, and Toronto, and she's currently self-employed. She is the founder and president of Global Sea Services Limited and chair at Panorama India. She has participated in organizing the India Day Parade and Republic Day celebration in Toronto to bring together various organizations and state communities to celebrate the event. Vaidehi believes in Vasudeva Kutumbakam, which is world as one family, demonstrating the importance of an inclusive attitude to inculcate values that keeps people bounded and find pleasure in embracing diversity and giving back to the community in form of serving humankind. She is a founding member of ICWF, which is Indo-Canadian Women Foundation. She is also a founder of Global Entertainment Toronto on International Women's Day and award winner in the category of community leadership. So good to hear from you, Vaidehi, today. We warmly welcome you again. Now, moving to the next panelist, with great pride, I introduced our next panelist, Gaurisha Sardana. Wonderful to have you, ma'am, today in the event. She is a program officer, Ontario Corrections in Canada. Gaurisha has been working directly for Rehabilitation Department in Ontario Corrections. She delivers educational life skill programs that include anger management, stress management, substance abuse, changing habits, effective parenting, and so on. She is also working closely for inmates with mental health issues and provides cognitive behavior therapies program like goal setting, experience feeling, and how thoughts dictate actions. She is also an active member of Cultural Diversity Committee of her institution. A very warm welcome, Gaurisha ma'am, for you.
Thank you, Manas.
Moving on to our next panelist, Sir Mulli Murthy. He's an author, a transformational coach in building brands, building people, He's an acclaimed public speaker, life coach, and a best selling author of The ACE Principle, ACE Awakening, and ACE Abundance. And you are hired. He's also a chairperson of Camp Networking Canada. He's a creative director and advertising strategist. He holds a master in communication and has held senior positions at various agencies, including JWT, TMP, based in diverse markets across North America, Europe, and Asia. In the recent past, he has also developed and directed award winning sites and interactive projects for Rogers, TD Canada Trust, RIM, to name a few. He also volunteers his time with CAMP, Canada's first voluntary organization for the marketing fraternity. As a chairperson, he helps new Canadians integrate into the job market sooner by providing industry tested tools, resources, and mentorship. Thank you so much, sir, for taking your precious time today to join this event.
Thank you, Manas. Appreciate.
Thank you, sir. So, moving on to some of our question answer sessions with our esteemed panelists. Starting with Vaidehi. Vaidehi, it will be if you have worked and lived across geographies and cultures in India, Middle East, and Canada. Could you share some insight on how the approach and work being done in the area of women empowerment varies across geographies?
You are muted, Vaidehi. You're muted right now.
Okay, sorry about that. Thank you, Menas. Yes, it's nice to join on this platform, this team platform with all these and some of them from Canada as well. Well, yes, my journey has been a long journey. Actually, sailed through like I left India in late '93, early '94. And since then, of course, I have traveled different countries. I've stayed in Hong Kong as well as in Canada, and have a drastic change in the culture as well. And speaking as a woman myself, of course, I feel that I think in Southeast Asia, Far East, I would say here as well, women, the status of women is very much influenced with the societal norms, which I have seen. As we have noticed the cultural changes in different countries, how it prevails and how it unfolds a woman's career life, I would say. Similarly, of course, I have faced my challenges as well. But I think over a period of time, we've all realized that we've all come together, opening the boundaries of the countries as one world. And now women are standing up for their own self and breaking the stereotype barriers to get out and actually achieve their own goals. So, yes, that I think more than talking about what the past has been, aiming towards a future despite the society norms that we all have hindered. I think the women's progress is more important what we should see, which is different in the Middle East as well as in the Far East, as well as in the North America as well, which I have encountered. This is the cultural difference as well as the I would say the economic structure of the country also matters as to how exactly the opportunities are laid out for women in each country. So, and that is where we all stand, whereby despite the odds, a lot of women actually in all these countries, focus on their determination to accomplish their goals. So I think that is more important, that we have to focus on that. Cultural differences will prevail, what we see in different countries. It's just like I have seen in the Far East, of course, they have more infrastructure. Life is much more faster. I have lived in Hong Kong. And coming to Canada, for me, it had been a little cultural change in the aspect was basically we are working parallel on the family life as well as the work life. So it may not sound as aggressive as what we get to see in the Far East as opposed to Asia. And for me, in the hospitality, I would say it is a huge difference. This definition of hospitality or the service standards is completely different in Southeast Asia as well as Middle East, Far East, and North America. I would say hospitality has progressed in the Far East and the Southeast Asia much more ahead, I would say. So I think, but in that aspect as well, what we can do, making our own goals achievable for us, that is more important. And I'm sure women will be achieving and traveling through their journey despite the odds here.
Thank you so much, Veli, for sharing the insights. And I truly, understand that with the cultural diversity in terms of language, in terms of, the culture of that given geography, does throw some challenges. But I'm sure with women power and the women empowerment going across different geographies, we are here to win. So thank you so
Absolutely.
much, Vadi. Moving on to Ms. Deepika. So, Deepika, with increasing vulnerabilities due to the new technology and limited legal and data policy and regulation framework, what is some of the support available to women? And is there a need for more inclusive guidelines for policy making? Would love to hear your thought, ma'am.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much, first of all, for having me today. The question you asked is the vulnerability. I think that exists for men and women alike. Now that the lines are blurring between physical and the digital world. So I think everybody is equally exposed to some of these elements that, that are posed by us being on the digital world more than the physical world. So I think from if I only talk about women per se, then I think first and foremost, what is needed is that digital literacy. Women need to be made aware of, what are the exposure areas, for example. And I would normally say that women generally need to be aware and also educated on three elements or three pillars, so to say. One is, of course, this whole pillar around safety and security aspect of it. The other is the digital literacy aspect, and the third is the financial aspect. One is, of course, how to go and make money, and the other is how to invest and secure the money. So these are, of course, three largest pillars that women should focus on. In the interest of time, I'll only focus on digital today. So in terms of support, I mean, if I only talk about laws and Ila talked about harassment at workplace and all. So we've known that in the physical world, and law has managed to keep pace with that. When we talk about the safety and security in the digital space, because your office has moved to the digital space, and you're more than 50% times you're on calls, and you're obviously operating out of digital world. So I think the law posh has obviously even sort of taken care of aspects where women can sort of lodge complaints even if they feel harassed, or and
Yeah.
the whole vulnerability plays out over there. So it does not make any distinction between the physical and digital space. If you feel harassed, and if there is anything that is making you uncomfortable, you obviously have the whole redressal system in place. Although it is in fact, I would say that in the digital space it is easier to prove if there is any kind of an harassment, because obviously everything sort of leaves a footmark, right? The other thing I would say in terms of support is on the legal front. For example, there are companies which outsourcing companies, especially where they have women working in the night shifts, etc. So law has obviously kept pace with that as well. There are regulations around it, and state governments keep coming out with notifications for the safety and security of women employees. Things around transport. I'm sure you all know that organizations and employers have to make sure that they are providing safe transportation to the employees, and there is a need for a, let's say, a security guard, just to name one example. So there is, like I said, there is enough happening. And when we talk about the third element in this particular aspect is the data security and safety, which is true for everybody, or which is relevant for even men as well. So we obviously have IT Act, which provides you protection, because there is this whole concept of PI, personal information, and sensitive personal information, and there are certain do's and don'ts, and organizations have to follow certain norms to protect your personal data and sensitive personal data, and there are also guidelines around how to share that data, etc. Although India is little late in the race, but we already have a bill in the name of Digital personal Digital Personal Data Act, which of course has not become the law yet, but which will obviously take into account all these elements that we talked about, which will obviously ensure that people's data is safe and secure, not just women's. So I think that is yet to become law. Although where once it becomes law, it will replace the earlier some of the earlier laws, not all, and also IT Act rules will be replaced by that. So I think lots happening. And if I look at the government initiatives, government also is coming up with certain initiatives. Like there is this program, Pradhan Mantri Sarakshita Abhiyan, where women and actually marginalized section of society is trained on this is around digital literacy basically. So which is again something that I think women can take advantage of.
Absolutely. I'm totally aligned with your approach when you say that digital literacy is somewhere where we are lacking in terms of awareness with the audience, with the awareness of the user. I remember my mom during COVID times when we used to do the Zoom call. She had to learn, like, how do she logs on the Zoom call and how can she do the WhatsApp calling. And, with the COVID around, I think most of the people have actually learned a lot of things during the digital literacy, because the world across the globe, things were shut down and people were struggling enough to see each other. They cannot go and fly and see their loved ones. So I think digital literacy is something which we really need to focus on. So thank you so much, Deepika, for sharing your thoughts. Moving on to Sir Murli, uh, with so much of talk about the new technology and women enablement, most of the transformation has been seen in urban society. So the urban section of the society. So what do you think, Murli? How do you think that we can involve women from rural areas with and in technology progression?
Okay, thank you, Menas, for the question. And since I'm the odd one out here, maybe I can offer a fresh perspective, and that might be even blunt and truthful at some time. How, since we're talking about women, how do men view it? Okay. And I'm going to give my answer to your question in three parts. I've been taking notes, listening to Vedehi and Deepika who spoke before me. And so, as I was taking notes, I split my answer into 3 points. So I'm going to share 3 points with you,
Sure, sir.
and that will answer your question. The very fact that you asked Mehnaz about how can we empower women in the rural sector, which means, somewhere there is this understanding or the thought that maybe the urban section is doing well, which is not the true. It's only marginally well. We know about the gender gap and everything that's happening, not just in India, but in Canada as well. A couple of days back, we celebrated Women's International Day, but I was addressing a forum and I spoke about the women's gender gap in Canada. So, uh, the difference between urban and rural does exist. But since you asked the question about rural menas, I would like to break my answer into 3 points. The first one is, are we looking at the penthouse or should we look at the foundation? The foundation is much stronger, and that is something that whether he addressed breaking stereotype patterns. The first point I would like to address is we got to go deeper and address deep-seated social issues. Where do they begin? One of the reasons, since a primary audience is from India, and I grew up in India, though I'm abroad right now, media has been a big influence. And I'm going to just quote a movie here that has edged in my mind. We all grew up with Bollywood, and we see how in a movie like Dangal, the protagonist takes the bold initiative to train his daughters against the wishes. But then throughout our Bollywood culture, throughout media, which can influence our thinking, women have always been shown to be, the lead heroine is just doing a customary role that I remember a movie called Dilwale Dulhania Le Jayenge. I don't know if you remember, but there's a reason I'm quoting the movie. Um, Kajal goes to her mom Farida Jalal and says, "I'm in love with someone else, but my dad wants me to marry." And the script writer wrote a dialogue which is so regressive. The movie may be a hit. That also explains how so many people would have remembered the dialogue. And it goes something like, "We are women. You're supposed to be like this only." I'm sure that goes into every rural household. Every generation passes on. So that has to be addressed first of all. That we are women, that nonsense has to stop. Because if
Yep.
you don't watch out, we are in an urban forum, we're talking about it. Who will take the initiative and address this social bias? So here is a solution I would like to offer. Maybe this generation can empower the next generation. So it has to go with the foundation. The social bias, women have to look down, do that pallu over their head. Those things have to be first addressed. If we are going to empower rural women, understanding, identifying deep seated social issues and addressing those biases. Earlier on, Ela spoke about the holistic approach, where every institution, everyone involved has to understand this, and all the organization, the policy maker, the government, the financial education, they all have to get involved in addressing the bias, take it from the ground up. Point number two, you know, I often say empowered women empower women.
Yep.
Maybe this forum, for example, Sage Presage or anyone, the community, the power of a community of organizations like you, women organizations, should take the initiative, and we should all go out. So we want to also spotlight on women-led communities, who can do this. It always, when they say behind every successful man is a woman, but behind every successful woman is a tribe of other women.
Yeah.
So point number two to address it is, the point number one is every organization has to address it at the foundation level, address deep-rooted biases that happen behind closed doors in every home, make sure media is responsible, and the next generation at least comes out fine. Point number two, women organizations like these have to take the initiative. We have our own social media tools and we can become a voice. And point number three is, if I have time, Menas, I want to share a story.
Sure, sure.
Boiling water. Take boiling water. If you put a carrot in the boiling water, it becomes soft. If you put an egg in the boiling water, it becomes hard. The circumstances are the same, right? But different people can react differently. One can become strong, one can become weak. Point number three is, it's up to the individual, the power of one person. After all, it was one Oprah Winfrey, one Smriti Irani, one Malala, one Mother Teresa who can change the tide of the world. But if in the
Absolutely.
same boiling water, if you put a tea bag, the tea bag will change the complexion of the boiling water and make it tea. They say, right? You never know how strong a woman is till you put her in hot water. So that would be those would be the 3 points. And I think point three applies to each one of you here who's taken the initiative. You are all the tea bags. If one tea bag can empower another tea bag, we can make it a stronger community. So in conclusion, my 3 point answer to your question, Manaz, would be address a deep rooted bias right down, notice media and Bollywood, whatever, address it at the foundation level. Point number two, spotlight on women led organizations, give them charge, more power. And the point number three is, the individual has to make her voice heard, raise her voice. If Malala can do it, if Smriti Irani can do it, so can that person. And one person can lead the change. Thank you.
Absolutely. I think I'm totally aligned with your approach, Murli. And I think we have really progressed in terms of coming out of just the gender bias. I think the important thing is in terms of changing the mindset. I mean, even at a middle class family, or even in some region, a well educated family, also a mother's attention is, once a girl has grown up to a age of 27, 28 years of age, my responsibility is to get her married. Now you want to explore the world, now you want to do things, please go to your husband, get married, do whatever you want to do that time. My responsibility is to get a good nice guy and get you married. So I think the mindset at a family front level itself has to change. And you have to, like, I remember when my father tells me that you are my son, I tell, no dad, I'm your daughter, but I don't want to fit into a shoe of a son. I'm proud to be a daughter. And the whole idea of changing the mindset, thinking that women are a weaker section than the men, has evolved. And things like platforms like this, where women are given the opportunity to come forward, speak out, with to our esteemed panelists like Deepika, Vaidehi, Gaurisha. They are like enlightenment the other women to come forward and to take a strong lead. So that's absolutely amazing to see women coming forward and doing their best roles. So thank you so much, Murli, for your insights. Moving to Gaurisha, I absolutely love that uniform which you're wearing. You get so empowered wearing that uniform. You get this additional responsibility of an officer that you have the power to change the world, to change the society, and take action against a defaulter or somebody who's trying to abuse someone, right? So wonderful to have you today, Gaurisha. To my questions to you is, what role does technology play in current times in law enforcement, and how is it revolutionizing the whole jail system?
Sure. First of all, thank you so much, Manaz. And yes, talking about the uniform, I agree with you. Although, yes, I am a daughter, I'm a sister, I'm a wife, I'm a mom. But once I put on the uniform, then I'm an officer, and an officer is always on duty. So thank you so much. I agree with that. And yes, Murliji, I loved your answers. Really, I really, really, from the bottom of my heart, I am saying that I really loved your answers. So yes, talking about technology, clearly we've seen that technology has turned the impossible into possible, the difficult into easy, right? And that technology has done in almost every line of work. Similarly, in the jail system, also technology has a great role to play. For example, the body scanner. Every new arrest when walks into a jail has to go through the full body scanner, which is a big machine with really high resolution cameras. These cameras show the 3D picture of the entire body, the x-ray vision, everything, the ins and out of the body. Practically it helps the officer to find contraband which could possibly be hooped in any body cavity. So that helps in the safety and security of the officers, the rest of the staff, and of course the other inmates. And other than that, there are metal detectors. Any volunteer worker, any visitor, uh, officers, sergeants, deputies, anybody who walks into the secure part of the jail has to go through a metal detector. Also, as you've seen the big luggage scanners in airports, we have, and most modern jails have that big luggage scanning machine. That's just before the secure part of the jail. So any books coming for the inmate library or the canteen they order, everything goes through the scanner to make sure that no contraband goes into the secure part of the jail. And other than that, there are cameras everywhere, cameras that cover every corner of the living units, the hallways, the interview rooms, everywhere. And that's again for the safety security of not just the officers, but also for the inmates. Say, for example, if there's an inmate to inmate fight, then these camera footage can be, the video footage can be checked to see who's the victim, who's the culprit of the fight, and the situation can be dealt accordingly. Again, if there are allegations against officers, then again, video footages show the true picture and help clarify the situation. So, other than that, yes, we have the remote defense access system, which is like a video call between the inmate and the lawyer. So that helps a lot. And of course, during COVID days, as we all discussed, that technology helped connect people. Similarly, in the jail system, also most of the court hearings, parole hearings were all happening on Zoom. So nothing stopped. Everything was still running. The show was still on, thanks to technology. And yes, we have an information system, as in a software system, which we call as the offender tracking information system. So anyone who gets arrested, there's an Otis file created for him on the software, and this platform is, all the officers across Canada can view it, can read it, and this file has all the information about the past criminal history of the individual, his current charges, his future court hearing dates, his gang affiliations, non-associations, his mental health issues, if any, medical issues, if any, addictions, if any. So all this information helps us understanding the profile behavior of the individual when we have to deal with him when he's in the jail, to make sure that everybody is safe, and work on his rehabilitation. That's most important. So technology helps a lot when we work on changing the attitudes and the thought process of the inmates before they leave our custody and join the community. We work on their rehabilitation, their planning their discharge, helping them getting rid of their addictions. So technology helps in keeping a track of what their program needs are, and accordingly delivering those programs and tracking their improvement in their behavior. And of course, we all know about the the ankle monitor for people who get house arrest as their sentence. Ankle monitors have been in use with the justice system since the 1980s, and they have the GPS tracker in them to make sure that the individual stays in the house and leaves only for employment or medical appointment or whatever the conditions of the parole are. And yeah, so technology is a backbone in the jail system as well.
Yeah, absolutely, Gorisha. I think technology has helped us in many ways. Like, I was visiting Dubai just few months back, and I was running late for the airport. So I told the cab guy, requested the cab guy, कि sir, thoda, you change the lane, that complete lane was blocked. So change the lane. And he was like, no, 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 I can't do that. You will get a ticket for that, because there's cameras all around, and these
Yeah,
Dubai police will land up from somewhere and they will take note of it. So I think the presence of the physical presence has actually been removed with the technology advancement in the field, which helps the human, to have that fear that, somebody is watching you, somebody is
oh yeah,
tracking you down, right? So
true.
absolutely.
Cameras is like an eye in the sky, always
And
keeping an eye on you. You're always being watched.
absolutely. And I'm like, in India, it was an instance like this, and I was like, "Aap camera lage hain? There are cameras over there." So they were like, "Kaam nahi karta hai." So sometimes you have the areas where improvements are needed, and and we need to enrich and build these strong technology system to ensure that everybody complies to the given law of the land, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I truly align with you, Gorisha. Um, Coming back to Vaidehi, like you mentioned that in terms of uh, cultural diversity across the geographies, how do you believe India and Canada can collaborate on gender equity, and how do you think we can facilitate? How can the we facilitate technology to achieve this goal, Vaidehi?
Yeah, Menas, actually, there are a lot of areas that India and Canada can work together. I mean, such as what we talk about a lot about climate change. Like, there are a lot of, all countries are connected with water, like water, space. So ocean activities like clean energy. So we get to hear a lot about these things, of course. But I think investing into something which will help mutual growth and strengthening the government ties with each other, like government framework for economic engagement, that would benefit basically to enhance the quality of women, the life they lead in these areas would be much more important actually, to more focus on the challenges that women face, and to realize the full potential basically of bilateral trade, investment, And I think both the sides will be able to renew their efforts and diversify into bilateral economic or whatever relationships they want to come up with. So I think yes, Canada and India, of course, can work a lot into kind of patronizing. I think recently now we get to hear in the medical field that there is a shortage of doctors as well as nurses. So I feel there is a lot of room there where we will be able to actually get the medical professionals who are in Canada, who are from India, who have immigrated, as you may be aware, because coming to the immigrants who come to Canada, they have to actually get their education at par to work in their own fields, as opposed to just coming and taking up jobs as it works in the other countries, like you move to Dubai or you move to Middle East, like you are working in the same field at the same level, but it doesn't work the same way here. But I think that is one aspect that I think even Canada is working onto it, but I think they are just working as it's more of a kind of going on a defense mechanism, whatever. But I think it's more, it needs more of a proactive approach, basically, to absorb these professionals and kind of bringing them at par, rather than actually having them here and then asking them to upgrade. So I think the Canadian government as well as taking effort in that aspect as well. And yes, I think the long-term goal for India and Canada should be to focus on empowering women and girls in order to secure a more just and prosperous future or environment for everybody, which I would say to stress and recognize the importance, like, things like sexual and reproductive health, as well as women rights and girls, and protect, making the environment more favorable for girls to be more free or actually be confident in the society. I think those are the aspects which, India is focused towards. Like, India has seen a lot of incidents which actually were recognized, which were popular on the global level, which brought attention towards women in India need that protection, and it needs that security aspect has to be actually strengthened. So, which I think the countries are working, but I think together to collaborate on that, on the level of, I would say it's more important to see on the professional level, where we can bring women working together to enhance the working conditions for women in both the countries, for that matter. And if they are able to travel in different countries and be confident in whichever profession they are, that would be, I would also say, if the need for a collaboration in the modern world, where there shouldn't be any boundaries as such to travel to work in different countries, and which definitely calls for a prime necessity for making the world safe for women. In the context of technology speaking, yes, I think pandemic has taught us a lot, that we have to use the technology to bring the world closer and embed everybody into the aspect that where we are able to collaborate and learn from each other, learning from the technology which is actually invented in different countries and absorbing them to progress in every aspect. I think which we have recognized the need of that during pandemic. Pandemic has taught a lot, and I'm sure, I think India and Canada has also learned towards collaborating. I mean, we work closely with the current Consulate General and the High Commissioner office as well, and we have seen during pandemic the Vande Bharat mission, as well as how they coordinated the travel and the movement of the passengers, as well as the citizens from different countries to travel safely. That was seen, and this is all because of modern technology, which has been inculcated in our day-to-day life. So I think that will be progressive as we go ahead as well, and we'll see development in every aspect, which is going to be seen favorable in the coming years as well. And we look forward to it as well. More collaborations happening in the women life as well in future too. So looking forward to that.
Absolutely, Paddy. I think you rightly mentioned that governments across various geographies has to work more strategically in terms of employment visas, in terms of easing out the process of getting these visas processing and all that stuff. So very rightly mentioned on the point, Paddy. Moving to Deepika, um, you have always been a part of a leadership team across regions. What are your views about the current equation in terms of gender diversity at board level, and what difference does it make to the business having an equal representation at the top?
So I think that's a very relevant question in today's time, especially the topic that we are discussing is very relevant to that. So if you look at how women or girls do academically when they're in school or college, they actually mostly you'll see that women or girls do better than boys, right?
Yeah.
But when they come into the workforce, there is a certain decline, and this decline continuously increases when they get into the mid level workforce. There is a sudden decline again, and at the senior or the top level positions, the decline is even further. Like it's really very few handful of women make it to the leadership positions. And when we talk about board, of course, board, I think it's is another story altogether, right? But I think the world is recognizing the fact that you have to have obviously equal representation, which is of course a far-fetched story right now. I mean, nowhere in the world they have been able to achieve despite mandating women on the boards. For example, I think Norway took the lead and they made 40% representation, women representation on the board, which obviously moved the needle, and they have now I think 43%, which is basically pushed because they made it mandatory. Similar to that, I think France, Spain, and Iceland, some of these more advanced countries made it mandatory. In India also we have made it mandatory. For example, company law mandates that companies which are public companies or listed companies to have at least one woman on the board, which has tremendously helped, I would say. And I will obviously talk about how it has helped. But before that, I also want to say that some of the more progressive departments, for example, IRD, insurance regulatory body, they went ahead and said that, okay, I think for insurance companies, even unlisted companies, every insurance company to have a woman on the board, which means that you're also taking unlisted companies that are into insurance into the ambit, and where it's mandated that there should be a woman representation. So these kind of initiatives definitely help. You need little bit of push as well. And how does it help to have women on the board? Because I've been on the board, so I can really speak from my own experiences, and also talking to some of my women colleagues and people on the board. If you have a woman on the board, so I think governance and performance of the board definitely increases, transparency increases, accountability increases. And another very important aspect of the board performance that is less talked about is the whole customer behavior. I think women understand the customers far better than men, because they are probably making 50% or maybe more decisions at home or otherwise when it comes to buying, right? So if we are the buyers, then obviously we also understand what is it that the customer needs, right? And to have a woman in the decision making seat, obviously she's going to bring up ideas and perspective which is totally different from men's perspective. So that goes into the whole strategy of how you building the company, how you're selling, what products you're developing. So in fact, women are known to actually be better at product development services in certain industries than men, because they understand the products and the whole customer psyche. So I think these are the value adds which may not be tangible for somebody to map and say that, okay, having a board helped. Although there are certain studies which show that having a woman on the board has improved ROI for businesses. But that's a discussion for another day. But I think it definitely helps at various elements. And the one last thing I would say, that women also bring empathy, because we are built differently. So I mean, like you said, Manaz, that you are proud to be a girl and daughter, and you don't want to be treated as a boy. I mean, maybe treated as a boy, but you don't want to be called this thing that you're a boy, or hence you should be treated differently. You don't want to be treated
True.
differently because there are certain elements that you bring being a woman which contribute into making the right decisions. So that's the whole different perspective that you bring to the board as well, and which is what is good for the companies as well and the boards as well. And I think
Absolutely.
world is recognizing that, and they are, companies and countries are making strides to make sure that there is representation. Although equal representation is still far fetched, but I think we are moving the right direction, so to say.
Absolutely, Deepika, and I'm totally aligned with what you mentioned. A lot of the companies, they are doing the inclusion of women in the board members as a compulsion, that you have to bring that percentage of women in your board. But I think we have to shift with a perspective that women are qualified, they have enough skill set to be part of the board members, and it's not should be as a compulsion, but as a choice, right? Because women are competent to take up those roles as well. So I truly admire your views, Deepika. Moving to Murli sir, being a mentor and coach, what are the various traits you noticed in female that can make a positive impact on the business, especially involving technology? And just a quick note, Ela has told me that if you run out of a time, she's going to mute me. So if I get muted, it's Ela who has done it.
No, that's not true. So
No,
you
no, no.
can go on. Please
Just,
go
yeah,
on.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, so thank you, Menas, for the question. Again, let's go a little deeper. How can women make a positive impact on business? But I think just before me, Deepika answered the answer beautifully, and so did Vedahi and Gaurisha. I loved the poise and the power and impact you had while answering. So let's take this question: how can women make an impact? What can we learn from this association right now? Manas, not only are you adding value by asking the right questions, I also noticed that you're actively listening to every participant and adding value to, you don't have the cookie cutter answers. You're actually customizing your answers. You're deeply involved and you're taking Vedai's conversation further, or Gaurisha's or Deepika's. That is one way women can make an impact, to learn from someone like you, to be involved, to be actively involved in the process. There is this line, sometimes the king is a woman. So the most basic answer is, a woman has to know her self-worth. Every individual should, but women, especially coming from the country we come in, and we just spoke about the social bias. Women have to know their self-worth, and I see some very strong, confident women here, but that has to translate to everyone. They have to take it upon themselves. And let me again tell you one more story, which is there's a guy walking on the garden, and I'm sure some of you would have heard this story, but nevertheless, he's taking a walk on the garden and he sees an owner of a dog and a dog sitting in the park on the bench. But the dog is whining, it's crying very subtly, whining. And the passerby asks, "Is that your dog?" And the owner says, "Yes, it's my dog." And he says, "Why is it crying? Why is it whining?" And he says, "Because the dog is sitting on a nail." And so this guy says, "Why isn't the dog moving away then? Why is it still continuing to sit on the nail?" And the owner says, "That's because the nail isn't hurting enough." And you know what the moral of the story? Eventually brushing off everything under the carpet, हम तो औरत हैं, ऐसा ही है, that mindset has to change.
Yeah.
You know, we cannot be cribbing, the world's most expensive party is the pity party. So once again, like I gave the example of Smriti Irani or Malala, they have to take charge and take initiative. I know we all have this background, but I'm just talking solutions right now. If I did not have this background, you may have seen where I'm sitting behind me is a bookshelf. Now I work, my wife and I work with a lot of students. Like in Canada, a lot of individual students come, and again, women are often worst hit because of, again, gender bias or everything. Life as a student in Canada can get tough. What we have initiated is something called the book club. We make sure people in our community read books. The organization that I run, the camp organization, we initiate book reading. So that is something women can do to make sure women can have positive impact, study well, and like Deepika said, women are intrinsically good at understanding customer psyches, building relationships. Anything involving business will involve people. Even a business of dog food has to involve people, and women can definitely are they're good at this. So be more curious, know your self worth. Everyone is good at something. Stop whining, take good action. You know, be a voice, be heard, but increase your knowledge, read books all the time, and be involved, be participating in a community like this. That's very important. Single-handedly you can't do anything. It takes a village to raise a child. So those women have to be understood. Work outside their comfort zone. And your roles can't be defined to 9 to 5. I'm this, then I'm a mom, then I'm a wife, or something like that. It is who you are in the community as a citizen. Make an impact. And one last thing is, for women to make a positive impact as a mentor and a coach, I'm saying they have to find a coach.
Yeah, yeah,
Every successful person in the world, men or women, have had a coach. Right from our epics, from the Mahabharatas to our movie stars and cricket and every field, successful people always have a coach. A mentor or a coach who will be very tough on them, who will bring out the best in them. They say that the caterpillar must badly want to become a butterfly. Only then that happens. And a mentor can take that out. Like the value of a grape is only in the juice. It has to be crushed, or the sugar cane. That ganne ka ras only comes out when it is squeezed out. And that a mentor or a coach can do. And these are some of the ways women can make an impact, Manas. Thank you.
absolutely, absolutely, Murthy sir. In fact, in one of this, we hear this insecurity very often that how do you find that the women security can do well compared, because it's a male dominated society. And I look at them and think, like, the creator, the God has given the blessing of a womb to a woman to hold the child for 9 months. And you're talking about security, you're talking about the safety. That womb is the most secure place, and God has trusted the woman for that responsibility.
They say
So
that, man, God couldn't be everywhere. That's why He created women. If
absolutely, sir.
everyone could do that, the world would be a better place. Yeah, but I agree with you. That's
Right,
right.
right, sir. So, Gorisha, coming to you, in terms of the changing landscape due to the new technology, how can women harness it to the advantage, and where do they stand in the modern day technically advanced jail system?
Thank you, Manas. I'm glad you asked that question. So, first of all, I would like to say that yes, we've seen statistics that Ela showed in the beginning, in the first part of the webinar, and we saw that yes, we still have a lot of work to do to move ahead and have more women work in different areas of work, different fields of work. But yes, we have to keep reminding ourselves that, especially women, we have to keep reminding ourselves that from the day when, decades ago, when women didn't even have the right to vote,
Yeah.
all the way till today, when there are women who are holding powerful positions. For example, and we need to have these examples, as Ms. Murliji said, that you need to have some mentor, some coach, or I would say a role model. If you can't find a coach around, you have a role model in front of you. And, such powerful women, and he named a few. And I would also say that, yeah, currently we see that the Vice President of the United States of America is a woman. The Defense Minister of Canada is a woman. These are very powerful roles. And even when we talk about the jail system, and I look at my own example, like 7 years ago, when I was deciding to to join the law enforcement, there was a weak moment when I, had second thoughts, and I thought, am I a right fit? Because all around me, I could see really big, strong, muscular officers. And I thought that this was the time when I was, in the college. And I was thinking that, I mean, am I anywhere in comparison? Am I in the right? Am I wasting my time? Is this the right decision, career decision or not? I was doubting myself. But then I thought, I told myself, okay, I'll cross the bridge as it comes. And the only thing that I carried in my baggage was my perseverance. And I thought that, yes, I will see if I have to enhance my skills or if I have to diversify my skill set and adopt new skills. Anything it takes, I will do that. I will see, I will try to find my place in the law enforcement and see where I fit. So I just went blank like this and I went ahead, and all these years, yes, I've learned new things. And yes, now, joining this discussion with technology in the picture, yes, in the jail system, not just technology, we see that, in the as front force, we have a larger percentage of males in the front force. But then as you go into decision making roles like crisis management, negotiations, um, uh, you know roles where you have to take decisions or make judgments, there are more of women. Why? Because as Deepika ji said, and I totally agree with her, that women have empathy. Women have not just the IQ but the EQ, the emotional quotient. So when a woman is taking a decision, she's not just using her bookish knowledge, she's also using her soft skills, right? So and of course, whether you are a biological mother or not, you have those motherly instincts, you have that patience, that level of patience, which helps you, look at all the pros and cons of the situation and take the right decision. And again, not just decision making roles, but also when I look at technological roles, where there is the central control of the jail, looking at cameras. It's a scary office because it has so many screens with different angles of cameras and different controls of locks and zooming in and whatnot. Oh my god. But yes, there are more women working there. Again, when we talk about reporting, women clearly have a focused approach, an eye for detail. So clearly in the jail system, I see that there are roles where there have to be more of report making, report writing, and each report in the justice system is a legal document. So you have to be very, very careful, no mistakes, right? So there also I see women are doing better than men. So clearly my understanding of all these years being in the law enforcement is that yes, we have to, as Murli ji said, we have to, as women, we have to identify our skill set and understand our personality and be ready to challenge our boundaries, push our boundaries, learn more, develop more, and accept it as a continuous process. Not just that, okay, now I'm at a good position, I have a work life and a personal life balance, I'm good. No, keep pushing, keep learning more, adopt more skills, try different departments. You get a better hold on your career. It's not just a job, make it a career. Not just the focus on the salary coming, but self-esteem, individuality, build your individuality, that kind of thing. And therefore I would say that yes, my message to all women is, and I can say that on behalf of women, saying that to men, that we don't want special treatment from men. We don't want you to hold the door for us or say women, ladies first. We want to make ourselves so strong, so internally powerful, that we can simply tell the men that don't give us any special treatment. Just the only thing we want is don't get in our way. Let us be ourselves. Don't come in our way, and we're good.
Absolutely, Harisha. And there was an instance where me and my husband was on a holiday, and I told him, I've dressed up really nicely. Now you have to take pictures. So he took the camera and start clicking 15 of them constantly, and then he said, choose one of them, apply filters. I don't know why you guys talk about women empowerment here. We follow your orders only. So very well said that, he's like, okay, you have changed the book where it was kept earlier. So it's looking nice, but you have not taken my permission. So put it back. So he's like, why do you think women empowerment is already done? Why you guys are always talking about women empowerment? You guys are in charge. You guys are in control.
So
So
to that, I just want to add one aspect that I think sometimes we come in our own way. So
yeah,
we,
I think
you
so.
know,
I agree. Yeah.
we come in our own way. We don't, and Garisha talked about such nice things. So I think it's also that you have to get out of your own way sometimes and,
Yeah.
feel that you have it in you.
absolutely,
Yes. To
absolutely,
add to that, I think sometimes rather than broadening the horizons, we limit our horizon and shrink them. Yeah.
absolutely. So thank you so much, wonderful ladies, and Murli sir, bringing that color from a different diversity. And men are always our strength. We have our fathers, our husbands, our brothers, always there as a support system, pushing us. In my view, my mother was always like, 25 years, she's done. She has done enough education. Get her married. And my father was like, don't restrict her. Let her take the challenges. So, just because of the support of men in the society, we women are doing some remarkable job in the industry. So, thank you so much for all.
Yeah,
Ila,
I
would
totally
you like
agree with
to?
you, Manaz. I
Thank you.
totally agree with you, Manaz. Like my father also, even if I have a small little achievement for him, it's a big moment of pride, and he would tell the whole entire world. And looking at him, I get motivated to do even better and move forward. Yeah.
Absolutely. I totally, can align with what your thoughts are. Like every time there's something good, I look at my father and it's like, my daughter is doing really well. So that
Yeah.
gives a proud moment. Absolutely. So, Ila, is there any questions from the audience
I
for?
think we are just we've already overshot this time for the session, so I think we need to move on to the next segment. Professor Triveni is already waiting. He's
Okay.
here with us. Okay. So, but thank you so much, everyone, for such rich sharing of views and idea. I think it's really overwhelming listening to you all talking about the cultural difference and variance in state of women at country level. In Far East, Middle East, Canada. Murli talking about key pillars, three pronged approach really, and then of course key pillars for women on digital literacy by Deepika, and the current and expected new laws which are there. How to address the social issues, women-led communities, how can they participate, how cultures really impact diversity, transformation in the jail system from Gorisha, really an eye opener, and the potential areas of collaboration, for India and Canada. Thanks for that, Videy. That's really, one way we all can, participate together and take the whole agenda ahead on women empowerment. And of course, Deepika, importance of women at leadership, so rightly briefed. Bringing in all the aspects of why women are important and what role do they play if they have to be on the board, and what difference does it make to business really. And Gaurisha again, very powerful sharing on holistic, approach aspect about in many different ways how we as individuals can come forward and make a difference to ourselves and the life of others. Just like you all, for me, it's my mother who's an inspiration for me. She inspires me, motivates me every day. So it's like women empowering women for me, really. So, yeah, I think with this, we would like to now move on to our next section, which is much awaited Fireside Chat with Professor Triveni Singh. Welcome, sir. Welcome. Although Professor Triveni needs no introduction, but for the benefit of all, I'll just share a brief about him. He's SP Cybercrime UP, of course. He's India's first cyber cop and has investigated more than 200 types of cyber crimes, followed by arrest of thousands of criminals and solved cases involving thousands of crores of fraudulent money, investigated multiple complicated cybercrime cases while also supervising the administrative and technological operations of 18 cybercrime police stations dispersed throughout UP's commissionerates. As the district's police chief, he has handled maintaining law and order, preventing and identifying all forms of crime, protecting VVIPs, managing traffic, fighting fires, managing cybersecurity, handling disasters, e-discovery, and asset tracing. Financial fraud and cyber crimes are two main focus areas for him. Additionally, he has held different positions in the jail departments, insurance sectors. He's cracked many cases related to anti-corruption, vigilance, economic offenses, money laundering, and cyber crimes. And I can go on and on. He's got such a glorious profile. Professor Triveni, you and I have been on many webinars and events together. Thank you so much for gracing our platform. It's an honor to host you on SagePresage event.
Yeah, thank you, Ella. Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible, sir. Thank you. I'm sure your presence will.
Ella, thanks to SagePresage Consulting. You have provided me this forum to share my thoughts. Basically, I'm into cybercrime investigation nowadays for the last few years. So I have cracked lots of cases.
Right, sir.
And if I'm talking about the statistics of my states, UP is a small, huge state in India, so in last 3 years, we have got more than 3 lakh cases. In
Wow.
3 years, more than 3 lakh cybercrime cases. And if I'm talking about the nature of the cybercrime, that range from financial fraud to social media related fraud to
Right.
very highly, specialized cybercrimes like cyber attack, ransomware attack, I mean, very technically complicated crimes. And if I talk in percentage terms, then financial related fraud is around 73%. 13% is related with social media related fraud, and then rest of the crime are highly sophisticated in nature. There, uh, so as far as women's are concerned, the nature of cybercrime is same for male or female. It depends on your literacy, digital literacy. It depends on your awareness. How much do you know about the modus operandi the cyber criminals are using? How much do you know about the technology the cyber criminals, fraudster, they are using nowadays? If you're not aware, maybe you may be a genius one, you may be a topper in IIT and management. But if you're not aware about the modus operandi, if you're not if you are not aware about their social engineering tricks they are using nowadays to commit the crime, then you can easily fall victim. So I have seen high court judges, senior IS officer, senior IPS officer, top military officer, they have become victim because they were not aware about the. For example, if you are getting a phone call and phone call, the number on the display is that of someone of your relative or your seniors, and you think that it's a genuine call, cannot be, because this is the age of spoofing. You can spoof anything. You can spoof number, you can clone your identity, you can spoof mail ID, because there are so many tools available on internet, and those tools are freely available. Yeah, you can use the tools. You can spoof number of anyone and send message or make a call to anyone. So this is the age of spoofing. When we are talking about the virtual reality, augmented reality, when we are talking about the deep fake, artificial intelligence enabled crime, where you don't have to do anything. You have got a bot and they are committing all kinds of crimes. Simply you have to send the instruction, you have to give the command, and the bot is working for. Bot is for me, my hired killer, and he can do anything. So if you want to commit a crime, it's very easy. It's very easy. Within minutes, within 5 to 10 minutes, you can create your own fraud enterprise and you can earn crores of rupees. So, for example, I want to demonstrate to you
Yes.
how easy it is to commit a crime.
Right, sir.
If I want to commit a crime through website, then how much time it takes? I will go on GoDaddy. I will book a domain,
Hmm.
500. Then immediately there are so many templates, already ready-made templates available on internet. I can create a website. I can take the hosting. There are so many free hosting service provider. They can provide hosting services provider, and there are thousands of payment gateway. they are ready to offer you the services, and they say that on transaction basis we will charge you no upfront fees. When the money will come, we'll take certain percentages.
Right.
So now the SEO. I mean, how my this website will go among the public. So I will take the help of social media platform like Facebook, Twitter, then Instagram, and all that, And I can take services of a few professionals who are into SEO, search engine optimization. I can take their services by paying a few money. So within 1 hour, now your fraud enterprise is ready to commit the fraud. Now you advertise that there are thousands of vacancies yeah, just advertised for the railway or for banking industry.
Right.
You apply here, 300 application fee. So do you think that this is a genuine site? Because the name is quite similar to a particular bank in India for ICICI. The spelling will be slightly different. ICI, one I more.
Right.
Logo will be same. The color combination will be same. Everything will be layout, everything same like ICICI Bank. And then
Right.
you think that this is a genuine. It's a phishing page, but you think that it's a genuine one, and then you just paying 300 rupees or 1,000 or 105. So this is how the criminal enterprise operate. The moment your intent gets wrong and you think to commit fraud, then within hour you can start earning money, and in crores, you cannot imagine. Now the problem is that of how to divert those money which are coming into. Then there are so many mule accounts on offer. They charge you money. They are going to give you the accounts. You put all the money into that accounts, and then 20% they make a cut, and 80% they are going to give you in cash or in whatever account you want to take that. This is the entire fraud supply chain operating everywhere, and the scenario is same everywhere. I'm not talking about the India. I have
Right.
the reports in Canada and the US and the UK, Australia. The more or less the modus operandi is same.
True.
Same way they are committing the fraud through social media accounts. Same way they are creating fake website. Same way they are advertising, the fake call center number, fake service center number, fake. So what is the Google search engine algorithm? The algorithm of Google search engine is, if we're paying the money to Google, then whatever number you want to advertise, that will come on top of the search engine first. So for example, I am a cyber criminal and I want to give the call center number of ICC Bank or HDFC Bank, and I want to put my mobile number, and then
Right.
I'm paying money to the Google for advertisement. So if somebody is looking for customer care number of ICC Bank, my mobile number will appear top.
Yes.
If you do not know the modus operandi the cyber criminals are using, then you are going to call that, and then on the other end, a cyber criminal will be there, and then they can befool you in any way. They can. So thousands of people are getting victimized through that fake call center number, fake service center number, fake services, and the cyber criminals. They are huge in number. They are more than 10,000, 15,000 cyber criminals at a time. They are walking over. So
Right.
they have advertised their number, their mobile number, in the name of very famous banks, in the name of very FMCG company, and the all e-merchant. They have advertised their own mobile number, and they are getting the call and fooling you in certain way, and then defrauding you. Recently, 10 days back, one Chowbeji, he came from Canada, because and he wanted to pay money through online banking, UPI, and he was duped by 10 lakh rupees. So I'm looking into his case, because there is an organized gang they are operating. For example, a very simple, one line of learning. If somebody is telling you that I'm sharing you this QR code, you just scan it and you will get money. For example, I have to pay 5,000 to you, and you say, I am scanning the money, I can pay you the money. But if I say that you scan this QR code and I will get the money, or you will get the money, So it's not vice versa. Just to pay, you can scan the QR code. To get
Hmm.
the money, no. UPI doesn't operate in this way. So this simple knowledge that if somebody is telling you that you just scan this QR code, you will get the money.
Hmm.
It's not possible. But the
Hmm.
thousands of people they have become victim through this modus operandi. Because, for example, you have advertise your furniture or your car, everything in OLX.
Hmm.
This crime is happening nowadays. So
Yes.
OLX, there are cyber criminals, thousands of cyber criminals watching your advertisement on OLX.
Hmm.
The moment you advertise your furniture or any gadgets, they immediately make a call. I am an army officer, I am a police officer, this is my badge ID, this is my photograph, this is my
Hmm.
ID, I am interested in purchasing that. So how can I pay you? So you think that and I am located, for example, suppose you are in Delhi, then he says that yeah, we are in Delhi. Then you think that it's a genuine guy, and then he makes a payment of 100 rupees and 200 rupees initially through Google Pay or WhatsApp Pay or UPI, and that money comes into your account, that is credited just to win your trust.
Correct.
After he has won your trust, then he say that my Google Pay is not working. I'm sending you a QR code. Just see, I'm going to give you the money, but I will give you through this QR code. Kindly scan this, and you will get your money. Now you are tricked into huge amount, and there are two facility in your code. Number one, you can
Hmm.
decide the amount,
Hmm.
and number two, you can say him that you just put the amount. Anyway, you are going to be victim of this fraud. So there are n number of crimes happening in number of ways. So I always say that you just go on reading latest modus operandi being adopted by the cyber criminals,
Hmm.
because they are using spoofing tool, they are using phishing pages, they are using vishing, they are making a cold call. And you
Hmm.
think that this call is from my bank or from Naukri.com or from some
Yes.
famous company offering me the job. The fact is that they're the fake callers. I know, personally, I have looked into several cases related with
Yes.
women. They made friendship on Facebook. They paid 1 crore plus. Three cases I know. I
Hmm.
delved into three cases of the lady. The amount they had lost was more than 1 crore rupees. One dean of education department of Lucknow University, she lost 56 lakh rupees. A lady professor in KGMU Medical College, she lost 1 lakh, 1 crore 7 lakh rupees. And then
Hmm.
a girl, she lost 1 crore 20 lakh rupees through Facebook friendship.
Oh.
Because what the criminals are doing, they are reading they are looking at your profile, and then they
Hmm.
create a similar profile of a beautiful girl or a beautiful professor. For example, my age is 50, 55. Then they are going to create a similar page of a police officer who is from USA, and he is into FBI
Yeah.
or and then it's a beautiful photographs, and then they are going to send you the friend request. Naturally, if I think that someone is from FBI, and she has sent me a request, I will get the friendship request. I will approve it, and then after 2 3 days of normal message, the message will get a bit romantic, and then all of a sudden in midnight or around 10 o'clock in the night, you get a phone call. I'm missing you and all that. Then you think that's it's a genuine love, uh,
Hmm.
and then you fall victim. And then they say that I am coming after 15 days, 10 days. They say that I'm coming to India to see you, and I have a huge currency. 50,000 pound I have. I am carrying for you. We'll do some charity work in India along with you. Then you think that he's handsome. He's a senior officer in the police. I am also in the police department. We will interact. We will talk a lot, and then we'll do some social services here in India, because this is the modus operandi they are. So now the first call will come to you from the Heathrow airport. So I'm from the immigration department, and Mr. Judge, he is here. He's a police officer, but he's carrying 50,000 pound. He cannot carry this much amount like this. He has to pay immigration fee. Then, if
Yes.
you are intelligent enough, then you think that yeah, immigration fee at the airport maybe. So initially, we will be asking for 1 lakh rupees. If you are paying that 1 lakh rupees, the next time of custom. This call is from the custom department of UK, and he has been arrested here because he is carrying 50,000 pound. You think 50,000? You just figure out the amount in Indian rupees, and it is huge.
Hmm.
So you will have to pay 2 lakh rupees. Then
Hmm.
again, paying the 2 lakh rupees. Then he is landing at Mumbai airport. This call is from Mumbai airport CISFS because he has been arrested. Then the money laundering wing, and then the local police, and then the custom, then the immigration department. So they keep on asking you. So what we call this is the sync trap technology. Once psychology sync trap. For example, if I have paid 1 lakh rupees, then I think this is the last chance. Let me give 1 lakh more. Then the second time, then third time, you think this may be the last one. So you just go on paying money. So I have seen
Yes.
several, girls, ladies, and they have paid more than 1 crore rupees. And I investigated all those three cases successfully. And in all those three cases, Nigerians, they were just 20 years old,
Hmm.
23, 25 years old. Those who are studying here in Delhi, university, and they are here on medical visa. I have arrested them in all those cases, Nigerian.
Hmm.
So technically, we call this Nigerian scam. 41, 419 Nigerian scam. So earlier
Okay.
they used to send mail in bulk and all that. Now they have come onto the social media platform, and then. So I'm not talking about sophisticated crimes like ransomware. That is a
Right.
fact. Entire word, they are compromise your if you are high net worth individual. They are compromising your account, your database. They are targeting the pharmaceutical company, educational sector, every sector they are targeting, and they are compromising the entire data center, your entire network, LAN network. They can compromise, they can disable anything, and then they will demand money in Bitcoin. If you are paying the ransom in Bitcoin
Yes.
to this wallet, otherwise your entire enterprise will be disabled for all the time, and you lose your all the data. So they are working like this, and it's a matter of concern for all corporate and government sector. There is
Yes.
no, unless and until there are basic cyber security fundamentals that is in your mind, that is in your practice, and this is not something that only top level CEO and C-suite officials should know.
Hmm.
The cyber security is something which, from your sweeper to the top bosses, they
Yes.
should understand the cyber hygiene first. Because I mean, just 1 month back, I cracked a case in which cyber criminals diverted 146 crore rupees from bank to their own account. 146 crore rupees
Hmm.
just 2 months back in Lucknow.
Hmm.
So what they were using? They had installed the keylogger on the
Right.
system being used by the branch manager and the bank official. They had installed, remote access tool in their own network. They had installed their laptop, and so and from the outside with the bank, they were approaching their laptop with the remote access tool, and they are coming into the network,
Hmm.
intra network, then diverting 146 crore rupees money to their account. Fortunately, I got all the money credited to the bank. I arrested 14 of the guys.
Hmm.
Person of the guys were highly technical, highly technical. Some of them they had arranged the accounts. Some of them had given the access to the bank premise because they had to install the keylogger and remote exit tool and the laptop on all that. So it's a complete teamwork.
Right.
Teamwork. So, the finance wing is here, technical wing is there. Some uh, there are lots of then digital marketers are there. They are operating in a corporate style. The CEO is there, some junior officer there, and they are perfectly running their show in a very professional way.
Right.
So
Yes. No, thank you so much for that detailed, nuances on how the crimes are happening, especially with the new technology, the vulnerabilities, the modus operandi. Some very, very relevant examples, sir, on how women are vulnerable and what kind of crimes are happening, especially where women are involved. We've seen there are certain vulnerable sections in the society, sir, like senior citizens, women, and children, who are very well targeted by some of these criminal groups. We just want to understand from you, sir, what are the, I mean, although you've shared a bit, just some of the do's and don'ts, and how can people be more vigilant, especially when it comes to technology related crimes which are happening very frequently nowadays?
awareness is the key. I always say
Yes.
awareness. Number one. Number two, there are some basic cyber hygiene countermeasures. Like, for example, I don't have to share any info with anyone on
Right.
phone or mail, be it through through phone number or through mail or through
Hmm.
Facebook pages, all that. No, I don't have to share my information with anyone. Number one.
Correct,
No,
sir.
not in any condition. Even if he seems to be a genuine one, that call may seem to be from your bank. No, bankers, they're not allowed to take your personal information on phone. So you should understand that I won't have to share my personal information, my sensitive personal information with no one. What may Number two, so you have to always look out for some, because this is the age of malware.
Yes.
So your mail may be infected, your computer desktop may be infected, your mobile phone may be infected, and you don't have any ready-made tools to detect the malware and what to do next, how to remediate it. So always avoid uh, untrusted source for browsing anything. So
Right.
always go for the trusted one. And if you are into financial trading, then you should know the exact spelling of the domain of the bank.
Correct.
Exact spelling. For example, ICICI Bank, you should know the spelling. The spelling is only ICICI Bank. And you always type those domain name in browser. Don't click on a link.
Hmm.
Don't click. If you are clicking on a link, there is all chances that you may be compromised. And we are in the habit of giving permission to all everything. If you are downloading some application and they are trying to access your mobile phone, mail, it's clearly written that we are going to access your microphone, we are going to access your camera. Why? I am interested only in news. If I'm downloading Times of India application, so why the Times of India needs access to my microphone and web camera? Maybe at the other end, some criminals, they can exploit, they can enable my web camera, and they can record anything. They can put on my mic and they can record anything. This is happening sometimes. You read the news about Alexa and all that. So Alexa is behind me. So maybe my all the recordings should be going into Alexa, and then the targeted advertising and spear phishing attack maybe at me, if at the other end some criminals are watching. For example, we are connected online here. Anyway, anyone can compromise. Anyone can record anything. Because I have 2-3 cases in
Yes.
which this online webinar was compromised and some blue film, pornographic material were run. I've seen the cases. So what are the cyber security countermeasures you installed when you were inviting us? Did you ensure it? how,
Yes.
how you are going to ensure the security of this online webinar? So that is the question. The moment you go online, you
Hmm.
think about cyber security first, cyber hygiene first. Think before you click. Think before you click. This is the mantra. Think before you receive a call. For example, thousands of people have become victim in India, and I think it may be happening in Canada and other country also. You know, You get a video call in the night, and the moment you unknown video call, and the moment you receive the call, at the other end some girls are there and completely naked, and then they record your conversation, maybe 5 seconds, maybe 10 seconds, or 2 minutes or 3 minutes, so they are recording your conversation in the same frame. And now they start blackmailing you. This is the, you were communicating with a girl in a naked position, or for example a girl's, she was communicating with a boy in a naked position, and then they give you the threat that I will share with your mother, father. I have gone on your Facebook. I have read your profile. They are the people in your network circle. I'm going to send them through WhatsApp Messenger this video clip. I will upload it in YouTube. And thousands of people, they have become victim. So he always said, please don't accept any unknown video call, maybe through WhatsApp or any VoIP platform. Net calling, no video call unless and until you know perfectly, because it's a matter of seconds and you are compromised, and then threats starts. So I have seen the people, they have paid more than 1 crore rupees, and still there is no relief, because they are basically by nature they are the criminals. They
Right.
don't have sympathy, they don't have emotions. You are crying, but they are not going to listen. They are interested only in money and money, because they are
Yes.
pure hardened criminals. So that's why I say, don't. Now this is the one more. Deep fake technology.
Hmm.
The latest threat to entire world. Deep fake. You can create a deep fake of anyone. For example, somebody has recorded my conversation for 5 minutes. He can create my deep fake for for n number of topics. I
Yes.
don't have to speak. Now the deep fake machine, he will create my clone, and I will. Triveni Singh will be speaking on all the topic. Just with 5 minutes, 2 minutes recording of Triveni Singh on this webinar, anyone can create. Triveni Singh is speaking on any subjects under sun,
Right.
and then they will sharing among the public. The public will think that Triveni Singh is there. But you see, on lots of pornographic sites, advertises that this film star, this celebrity, because their face is deep fake is there. The face is that of the celebrity, and the fact is the other part of the. So that is created. So now this is the age of deep fake technology, artificial intelligence crime, and this is the biggest challenge for law enforcement agency or for police.
Absolutely, sir. Thank you so much for that. I think internet privacy, as they say, is a myth, and I think you beautifully summed up the do's and don'ts and where people need to be vigilant. Sir, if you can also guide us as to what is the support available in case of any incident where there is a cyber connotation, where can these be reported? What is the solution expected? How are these cases handled? We just want to, I mean, that will benefit the audience a lot.
There are so many options. The
Hmm.
police, there are so many police stations. You can go there, get your case registered. Number one.
Hmm.
Number two, we in India, we have lots of cyber crime police stations dedicated to cyber crime cases. You can go to there. Then we have given some certain online option also.
Okay.
So now you go on cybercrime.gov.in, cybercrime.gov.in. You can lodge your complaint. That will not be FIR, but your complaint that will be addressed. Once the crime is found, then that will be converted into FIR. So online option is cybercrime.gov.in. If you have lost money,
Hmm.
means you are the victim of financial fraud, then you
Right.
can dial 1930. 1930 you can dial. So it's this 1930 platform has been created by the Ministry of Home Affairs in India. They have created a beautiful platform in integrating all the financial intermediaries.
Hmm.
All the financial, it's a bank, NBFC, then payment bank, then the wallet company, everything is integrated on the same platform. The moment you dial 1930 and you give information related with your fraud, like your last 4 digit of credit card number, your transaction ID, and the amount and the money where it was, then
Hmm.
in real time that goes to the bank. For example, I'm the victim, and I'm the account holder of ICC bank. from the ICC bank, the money goes to SDFC, from SDFC to Bank of Baroda, from there to Paytm, from there to some other e-merchants. It's all there on the same platform. So it's a golden hour formula. If within 1 hour, if you are lodging your complaint, definitely I think that your money can be stopped in
Right.
that chain. But if you don't know that 193 facility is there and you are delaying, you are
Hmm.
just running from pillar to post to cybercrime police station. So I think that may be delayed and you may lose, because cyber criminals, the moment you are a victim of the fraud and they get your money, immediately they withdraw from somewhere. Immediately.
Right.
So that's why this golden hour must be in your mind. Once you are a victim of financial cybercrime, you immediately dial 1930. It's all in a helpline number.
Okay. That thank you for that, sir. That's really helpful for audience, I believe. Sir, what the some of the new technology related crimes that you've talked about, like identity fraud, deep fake, and crypto related investigation. We also keep on getting such requests because it's happening so rampantly. As you know that we are an organization, we're doing a lot of work in the area of cybersecurity, cyber risk awareness, crisis response, digital forensics investigations. If you can, sir, please advise how can organizations like us partner with law enforcement to make a positive overall impact to the society?
Well, I know you since long. I know your SagePresage consulting. You are doing a lot in cybersecurity and fraud investigation and technical crime investigation domain.
Right.
So legally, you cannot be at the part of investigation in India,
Hmm.
but you can be the part as as helping hand. For I need lots of technical support. For example, there is a case of crypto crimes.
Yes.
Somebody has somebody has sent me a fake wallet address. He has created a fake cryptocurrency exchange, and somebody does fake mining businesses, and they say that we are into this cryptocurrency mining. So we are producing Bitcoin and Ethereum and light. So these are very technical crimes. Police department is still do not have expertise to investigate such kind of crime. In those technical crimes, you can assist. And
Right.
CBI, SFIU, all these law enforcement agencies, they hire, for technical assistance, because these are very complicated technical investigation
Yes.
where we need support of experts. And we are not experts. I'm a police officer. I'm not an expert. We know a bit about technology.
Right, sir. So thank you so much for guiding us on that, sir, and thank you so much for being here. Really, it's been so motivating for us that you joined us today, and gave us such beautiful, wonderful insights. I'm sure it is going to benefit a lot of listeners today because you've really had shared generously about the kind of crimes which are happening, the new technology related crimes which are there, and the modus operandi, the vulnerability areas, and everything. So thank you so much
Thank
for
you. May I take your leave?
sure. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for
Thank
being with
you.
us,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you for
Namaskar.
joining.
Namaskar.
Namaskar.
Namaskar, sir. Okay, so with this, we now move on to our next segment, wherein we are joined in by Ms. Kanchana Arun, representing MSME Business Forum. Just to introduce Kanchana, Kanchana is an experienced business head with a demonstrated history of working in information services industry, skilled in operations management, customer relationship management, media relations, analytical skills, and market research. She is a strong business development professional with MBA focused on HR management and information technology from ICFI National College. Kanchana, welcome and thanks for being with us today.
Good morning, everyone.
Good
Yes,
morning. Right, Kanchana. So we would definitely want to hear from you on some of the initiatives by MSME Business Forum toward women empowerment, particularly.
Sure. So, should I start presenting my screen?
Yeah,
I
please go
have
ahead. If you have, yeah, yes, please go ahead.
this. Is my screen visible?
Yes, it is. Yes.
Yeah, hi. Once again, good morning, everyone. It was so insightful to hear from all the panelists, and there are a lot of insights and tips from Mr. Triveni as well. I'm very happy to be part of this event today. So I represent behalf of MSME Business Forum, and we are one of the partner member with the MSME Business Forum. And I work as a business partner in Redwood Algorithms, which is located in Bangalore. So MSME Business Forum, it was originally started in the year of 2017. And within few years, especially post-COVID, the transformation and the demand for MSME started increasing. And we have regional offices in 12 places. The head office is in Delhi. And fortunately, all the head offices is led by, HODs are led by the women entrepreneurs. So all the women entrepreneurs who are doing part-time job into MSME Business Forum, as well as they do a lot of initiatives behalf of MSME. So here there are 4 verticals I mentioned in the presentation. So if any women entrepreneur, not only women entrepreneur, any startup owners, small medium enterprises, anybody who wanted to get into self-employment mode, they can try approaching MSME Business Forum. Currently, we are associated with 5,000 MSME entrepreneurs in India. We are not stopping at only in India. We do have tie-ups in other places, in other geographies, Canada, South Korea, Vietnam, all those places. Also, we have government level tie-ups in those areas. So if anybody wants to get into internship mode, or if anybody wants to take support on financial level, like if you're approaching for investors or VCs, fundraising, any financial support, definitely. If you are a member of a MSME Forum, definitely there is a space there. We will share the credentials whom to be approached to become a member in MSME Forum to SagePresage team. So you can approach later and you can try participating in all the events, as well as if you wanted to participate in any expo and initiatives, volunteership, anything, definitely it is possible through MSME Business Forum. So if any internship opportunities are required, or if you are going to do import-export business, especially when it comes to women entrepreneurship, post-COVID especially, again I repeat this, the women entrepreneurs, like self-employed people, if you might be a home chef or tuition, if you're running like tuition centers, very small regional level, like rural places, if anybody wants to become an entrepreneur, wanted to be a self-employed and financial freedom through this new employment. So definitely there is the possibility with the support of MSME Forum plus the technology support. So with this, definitely within 3 days time, anybody can become an entrepreneur and you start making money from within a week's time. So there are possibilities how to do it in each and every area. If you are planning to do import-export business, if you need any assistance on technology support, marketing support, branding support, and connecting with other MSME association members, everything is possible through our association.
Great.
1 minute, I'll just show some of the events.
Okay.
So these are all some of the memories, some of the events which we conducted in the last few years. So our CEO, she's a development center, Rachna Chaudhary. She's the winner of MSME Award for the best women entrepreneur and mentor. And Ms. Priyanka Pandey, she's from Tier 3 city, and she got awarded by Ministry of Finance for her work as professional assistant in India MSME Business Forum. And then Captain Asha Alagappa, she got rewarded by National Bar Association New Delhi. Nega Kerala for her innovation was shortlisted, because this recognition is very important, and the small motivation really matters a lot for any women entrepreneur. So we do recognize the startup owners, especially when any women entrepreneurs upbringing from the Tier 2 cities, Tier 3 cities up to Tier 6 cities, we focus on. And Soumya Srinivatsava and Kavita Adigari. So they are the people who nominates behalf of MSME to other countries as well. Recently, there was a event conducted in Guana, and the Soumya and Kavita, they were represented behalf of that. And Kavita, she was represented from women entrepreneurs at Vietnam. There was a program conducted by MSME Forum, and she represented behalf of.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So definitely, I wish to talk about the place where I work here. It's very good experience. I joined as an employee. It was a basic startup level, and I joined as a business partner. Sorry, as a simple employee. I was into business development. Slowly grew up, and mainly we are into digital marketing. So I'm trying to connect all the women entrepreneurs, like any small startup owners. They can digitally using technology support. So you can approach easily 7 billion people worldwide if you just have the ideas ready. If your ideas are ready and your vision is very clear, definitely we can make you succeed in this forum. And we know digital very well, and there is some USP in us that we connect data science behind each and every data will be connected, especially when it comes to marketing, starting from your website development, your SEO, as Mr. Triveni explained. So there are methods to hack and do frauds in those areas. We'll try to prevent you from all these areas. So people take advantage of your unawareness. So we'll try to prevent you as a professional from all those threats. And all the certification, KYC verification, all that will be followed. And we will also support you on all the advertisement methods, and we will help you on data science. We also work for fintech companies, especially fraud analysis, credit risk analysis. We assist financial sectors, mainly on the fraud analysis, credit risk analysis. So we know data well, so we will be able to do a better job on your digital marketing too.
Great. That's wonderful. The kind of work that you've shared from MSME perspective. Thank you for sharing some of the success stories. Also, we really wanted to hear those. MSME Business Forum is actually impacting women and girls at the ground level in the most remote areas, I believe. I'm sure there are more success stories which you have from those areas as well. What are the various, programs MSME Business Forum have for outreach? We would like to know about that as well. Like one you've shared about, having an idea and then how you're supporting the idea and taking it ahead. Are there any specific outreach programs which are there, which you can share, especially at the ground level? Will be really helpful.
No, we conduct camps and volunteer camps in all the Tier 3 to Tier 6 cities frequently, and the details will be posted on our website. So the association member gets the email notification, so the volunteers can go, and awareness creation will be done at the city level. And recently it was done in Bihar. And so this will be frequently happening, not specific to any occasion. It will be happening frequently. The events will be listed on the website. Anybody can participate in those and volunteer into those events.
Wonderful. It's great to know how you're, enabling women to be leaders in many ways. I believe that's what I gather from what you've shared as well. We also would like to. Yes. Go ahead.
I was listening to Mr. Murli's conversation that where he used the carrot and the egg, right? So MSME Business Forum is like your hot water. So you can use this water as a forum to grow and upskill. Like you can get into the next level using this forum.
Right. I think that's the access that everybody is looking for, and people generally look out for such initiatives. And we just want to understand how to kind of get there as well. So thank you for sharing all that and more. We just also wanted to understand that how can businesses participate with MSME Business Forum on the agenda of gender equity and women empowerment. Are there any collaborative programs or plans for such a partnership that can be done?
So there are head of departments in each regional level.
Mhm.
So so we will be sharing the credentials for whom to be approached for
Yes.
this. Okay, so if you approach through the head of the departments, so they will guide you how to participate on specific events. So in the pictures which I shared, so all these events were initiated and conducted, especially targeting the women entrepreneurship and promoting and motivating them. So in India, I would say like only 14% women entrepreneurs. Like recently, the statistic shows it's only 14%. So
Hmm.
our aim is to increase more. Like when we meet in the next meetup, we wanted to show high percentage. Currently, we are at 5,000 entrepreneurs associated with us. So we are targeting more than a lakh within the next 1 year. So we are also trying to do a lot of outreach, lot of government affiliations, lot of initiatives supported by government as well. And through, especially when it comes to solar energy, people are keep talking about solar energy. So a lot of events are happening around this, and there are more participations from women entrepreneurs, and we give mentorship for many women entrepreneurs on this occasion also.
That's great to know. Are there any particular industries, services, or sectors that you are more interested in, or who can really reach out to you for anything specific that you're looking? Like you said, for solar, you're promoting. Could there be any other industries like technology-oriented solution or something else that is within the radar of what you're looking for?
So as this is the bridge association, right? So we are not specific towards. So recently, the solar energy system is developed and promoted through the Indian government. So we are also getting the benefit out of it. So we are giving this outreach to all the people to get the benefit out of it. Apart from that, technology support, marketing support, funding, fundraising, like in all the areas we are helping, import export solutions.
Hmm.
If you wanted to get any vendorship, if you wanted to get any consultations, if you wanted to get advisory services, all this is possible. If you're looking out for partners, if you wanted to start associated with the MSME Business Forum and do some other events and expos, it's actually open from MSME Business.
Wonderful. Any of the panelists or anybody having a question for Kanchana, please you can ask. She's here right now, so she can answer that. If not, we can move. Yeah. Okay. So, Kanchana, thanks for enlightening us. I think you've given a very holistic picture of the wonderful initiatives which are happening, how women are being brought to the leadership front, and how things are being done at the ground level. So, I think it's great work that you're doing. We'll really look forward to the contact details, and how can we be the bridge between whoever wants to work with MSME, and we can definitely would like to take that initiative collaboratively together. So I think MSME is really living up to its motto, MSME ka saath, MSME ka vikas, MSME ka vishwas, and I
Yes.
really admire that. So
Yes.
with this, yeah, thank you, Kanchana.
Thank you.
So with this, we'll
Yeah, I
just
just
move
want
on
to.
to the closing remarks now. If somebody, did I hear somebody say anything?
Yes, I just want to say that one of my PC is off. I think its network is out. So
Hmm.
I'm on my other PC and I'm not able to record. So I'm recording on my phone.
It's okay. That's fine. Thank you. So with this, we'll just now move on to the closing remarks. I think it's been a very holistic sharing of thoughts, ideas, views from business side, leadership views, representatives from Canada and India. country level perspectives, law enforcement perspective, industry forum view has been there. I think it's been one of the most enriching sharing of thoughts that I've seen by far, and I think it's going to really benefit the audience. I also believe that each industry can work together towards actually making a difference in the direction of women empowerment. As a risk management industry, our efforts are extremely critical because we work very closely with law enforcement, legal fraternity. The work we do in the area of crisis management, cybersecurity, training on safety and security, data privacy, regulation, as well as compliance, forensics, etc. Um, so we've also noticed, and as rightly pointed out by one of our panelists, Mr. Murli Murthy, usually post the event, the agenda gets diluted, and gets sidelined. So in order to give a longevity to today's session, we must have a call for action. Therefore, we are sharing our contact details, and we have also created a Google form which you can fill, just to show interest in case you want to partner with us or with any of the forums or people who are there with us today, and how can we collaboratively, take this entire agenda ahead. So let's work towards, embracing equity. That's what I would like to say. And with this, I would like to thank all the speakers, guests, all the representatives, participants for enriching us, our perspectives in such an honest manner. Thank you so much, and all the audience for standing by us and supporting us.